Hey guys, it's Tarkhan back with yet another video. Go figure. I'm just gonna keep making them because I'm a madman, right? So for those of you who've been watching my channel for a while, you know from my content and the videos I've made up to this point that one thing I always stress, especially when you're manifesting a specific person, a relationship with somebody else, is to focus on yourself. Put the focus squarely on yourself and not so much on them, right? But I want to talk a little bit more about that today and why that's so important and why I tend to stress that so much, all right? Because there's something here that needs to be understood, okay? And of course, you can tell from the title of this video basically what the gist of it all is going to be, all right? So, you know, you get a lot of conflicting information from different law of attraction teachers, different manifesting coaches, different reading material, different video material that tells you, well, you got to put your focus on what you want and think about it all the time. And the more you think about it, eventually it'll all come together and manifest for you, or you'll attract it or something like that. All right. So I think what I tend to find is with a lot of beginning students with this stuff, all right? And people that really, a lot of people that write me and a lot of my coaching clients tend to come from that kind of area. They tend to be people who go, oh, I just discovered this manifesting stuff in, you know, back in June or something, you know, or it always happens right around the time that they break up with their ex or something happened and it causes them to look for answers, and they stumble upon this material and then they kind of go, whoa, it's an easy 1, 2, 3 formula. I need that little step to get them back right now, because that's what they're hyper focused on, right? That's what they're thinking about, is they need this thing back right now in order to feel happy, to feel good about themselves, because they think and they've convinced themselves that something is missing from them, something is missing from their lives. And I want to say there's nothing missing from your life, okay? If you're putting a lot of focus on something, understand that it's not just the focus that you're putting on it, not just the thoughts that you're putting on it, not just the words and the actions, all right, that you put out. From a universal mind perspective, the universal mind doesn't hear your words, it doesn't look at your actions, it only reads the energy behind your words, behind your thoughts, and behind your actions, okay? So if you're thinking about your specific person all day, you need to make sure that you're thinking about them from a place of feeling easy about it, from a place of fun and joy about it, okay? But if you're thinking about them all day because you're obsessing about them, that's not manifesting, okay? That's not the kind of focus that's going to bring about the shift that you want to achieve, where they're back in your life, all right? So you need to understand that focus is something that has to be supported by the right energy, okay? Thoughts, actions, and words are something that have to be supported by the correct energy, okay? So if you're thinking about them all day, but it's coming from a worry place, a fearful place, an obsessive, desperate, impatient, frustrated, angry, sad place, you don't want to be thinking about them, because the energy behind that kind of focus, all right, is about one of, I don't have this is devastating, this is awful, they're missing from my life, and that is the energy, and that's the focus that you're actually channeling outward. That's your energetic output, okay? And so since your physical reality is nothing but a reflection of that which you practice, that which you do predominantly most of the time, most of your waking hours, you know, it has no choice but to reflect those kinds of circumstances back to you, those kinds of events back to you. And the people that show up in your life, including your specific person, will show up in a way that will reflect and demonstrate that predominant energy that you're putting out there, that you're practicing, okay? So that's why I stress it all the time. I say, when you're feeling that desperate and that worried and that fearful and sad and all that kind of icky negative stuff, what you want to do is, the last thing you want to do under those circumstances and when you're feeling like that, is to focus on your desire, is to focus on your specific person, okay? Because that's going to backfire. It'll slow things down. It'll do anything but get you closer to your goal, all right? So when you're doing that, it's imperative at that point to put the focus back on yourself, or on things in your life that are easier, okay? That are more relaxed, that are fun, that are joyful. And that's why I tend to stress that, because I know that if you're going to be doing affirmations and doing this and that and thinking about them all the time from that point of focus, that point of attraction that is all about fear and desperation, I know it's not doing you any good, okay? So that when you feel that way, you don't want to be thinking about them. You don't want to be talking about them. You don't want to be, looking them up on the internet. You don't want to be doing that anyway, okay? You don't want to be contacting them under those circumstances, okay? Because you're still going to get the same kind of reflection coming back to you that is going to correspond directly to your predominant way of vibrating your energetic output, okay? So you need to take care of that first, all right? So now here's where we get to the title of this video, okay? Because it's gonna happen when you're least paying attention, because that's usually how things come about. Your biggest desire, the one that you've been glomming onto for the longest time, that you put the most energy into, okay? In this case, say your specific person, all right? They happen when you actually have made that successful step and that successful shift towards not making them the center of your universe, not putting them up on that pedestal, okay, but rather making yourself the focus of your universe and your life, making ease and fun and joy and feeling good and reaching for good feeling thoughts and engaging in good feeling activities and hanging out with your friends and playing with your puppy and taking long baths and, diving into your work if that's something that gives you joy, right? Diving into a hobby or a passion, discovering something new, learning something new, watching a good movie, whatever it is, listening to some uplifting music. You do those things not to distract yourself. You do those things because they're going to feel good and they're fun for you, okay? Because as you get more involved in your life and you don't make them the center of it all and you don't make it this need to have them to fill some kind of hole in your life, because you think a hole exists, but it doesn't, okay? When you engage in that for a little while, when you just step away from them for just a little bit, you begin to feel calmer, you begin to feel better, okay? And what happens is sometimes right in the middle of all of that jazz, right in the middle of all of that fun and living your life up and having living your passion and living your purpose and your dreams and going after things that give you joy, right in the middle of all that, boom, there they are. Okay, boom, there's the text message. Boom, suddenly they're interested. Boom, suddenly they add you back on Facebook. Boom, suddenly they want to go out with you, okay? So it can happen like that. And I know a lot of people where that's happened for them and they go, I don't understand, I'm confused because I wasn't thinking about them at all. Well, perfect, because before when you were thinking about them, you thought you were doing something productive, but actually you were thinking about how they're missing from your life, not how they're present in your life. And so therefore, you were blocking the manifestation from coming, right? You were blocking the energy. So just releasing it, just stepping back from that little bit, okay? Abraham Hicks calls it floating your cork, all right? And the idea behind that is that your cork naturally floats at the top anyway. Your natural default position and mode is one of joy, all right, in life. It's only that we tend to hold the cork underwater, okay? With our resistance, with our fear thoughts, with our worry thoughts, with our needing it to be now, with our desperation and all that kind of stuff, okay? So when you take your finger off the cork, it naturally floats to the top. You find yourself involved in your life. You find yourself having fun and enjoying things. You find yourself being easier and more relaxed. And now you've actually allowed all that energy to reflect back to you. And you've allowed that thing that you've wanted for so long to finally have the space, right, and the energetic space and to move towards you, okay, to come into fruition. Actually, what's happening really is that you're moving yourself into alignment with it. It's there the whole time, okay? So attraction is kind of a misnomer, but we use that word in order to, well, make it easier to understand a little bit. But really what's happening is you're moving yourself into alignment with it, right? Because the moment you conjured it up, guys, it came into being. It came into being in that field of infinite possibilities where it exists now. It's just waiting for you, the last cooperative component in the whole equation, to line up with it, because life needs you to move through it. It needs you to move through, okay? It can't exist or move or flow without you. Energy can't exist or move or flow in your life without you. You're the conduit for it all, okay? So the moment you sort of release your resistance, you step back, you start enjoying your life more, you practice ease and fun and going downstream rather than paddling upstream all the time, rather than trying to constantly manipulate your external reality, which exhausts you energetically. When you stop doing all that for a little while, okay, all that stuff can flow again, all right? So it's like you've unblocked and boom, suddenly there's a manifestation. Suddenly there's something you've been wanting for the longest time and you go, what the hell? I totally forgot about this, okay? We had this, there was another video I did or maybe a podcast episode where this happened, right? This woman was trying to manifest this specific guy and in the process of relaxing and just taking it easy for a little while, not focusing so much on him, he came back, but not only did he come back, but another guy that she had a crush on from like, years ago that she had totally forgot about also came back into her life suddenly, and in a romantic sense, in a romantic way, he was interested in her. So, it's like, what? Suddenly somebody from high school or somebody I thought about 7 years ago is still around? That manifestation is still possible? Yes, of course it is, because it's not forgotten. Your desire and your intention to have somebody doesn't just disappear. There's no time limit on it. It's only if you think there's a time limit because you've placed that time limit on it in your mind. You've placed that block and that limitation on it in your mind. So remove those limitations right now, okay? So if you're feeling that desperation, that frustration, the absolute best advice that I can give you, that anybody can give you at this point, is to remove your focus from it for just a little while. And don't be afraid to do that, okay? Because like I just said, and like that story demonstrated, your desire doesn't get forgotten. It doesn't get lost in the shuffle. It's always there. And really, in order to manifest successfully, that's all you really need to do. You need to set your intention just one time, okay? And then really just get on with your life and just allow it to come together. And there it will be one day, all right? Sooner than later, the less resistance that you put in the way, it'll be sooner than later. If it's taking a long time, it's because you're piling a bunch of resistance up, okay? You're putting up a dam and you're kind of clogging the flow, all right? So unclog those pipes, all right? And the best way you do that is remove your attention from it for a while, all right, guys? And you'll find in the middle of having fun, and I've had this, I've had ex-girlfriends suddenly I thought about for the longest time and, would text me out of the blue after months and months, okay, of no contact, no hope, and I was just out having a good time with some friends, and I was genuinely enjoying myself, feeling lighter, feeling lighthearted, being appreciative of my friends, being appreciative of my life at that point. The fact that I was able to go out with them, that I had the time to do it, that I had the money to do it, that I had the resources to do the things that I wanted to do when I wanted to do them. I began to become more appreciative of things that were already there, and I began to feel that, right? The blessings that already existed, and I was having such a good time. She wasn't even in my head at all at that time, at that night, and boom, there's a text message from her, right? So, and it was along the lines of, oh, I kind of miss you, and where have you been? And, all this kind of stuff. And I thought, what the hell? So you see, it can happen at any time, but it will most likely, guys, happen right at that moment when you're least expecting it, when you haven't been thinking about it for a while because you've been way too busy being about yourself, being about having fun, okay, and being light and easy about things in your life. Because this stuff is not that hard, and it's not that serious. Life is not that serious. You make it serious, all right? You take yourselves way too seriously, and you take your lives way too seriously. Be more childlike about it, okay? Be more playful about it. Be more experimental about it, all right? And you'll see things will flow much, much easier for you, including this thing that you've wanted for so long, all right? So, thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, you like the cut of my jib, you like all my other videos, please hit like, please subscribe, please comment, and please share, okay, with your friends, your family, and all the other lucky people that you want to share my videos with. If you want some coaching with me, you can find the link for that down below in the description box. You can leave me a tip down there too if you like this content enough to throw me $1. You can join the Facebook group. That link is also down below. Okay, guys, so until next time, I'm 𝗙Con, happy manifesting, and remember, take it easy, all right, and have fun. Bye-bye.